Well, hello everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Right, this is my Tretflex Bluetooth wireless speaker, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. It still works. It still works to a fashion. The only thing is now that the batteries in it are not holding the charge as long as they should. Now I've had this for quite a while actually, so I've never changed the batteries in these before. I've never opened it up, so I'm actually going to, as you can see there, I've turned it on. It's flashing. You can see there. That's your volume indicator. That's the Bluetooth to show you it's flashing. And if you connect it to your phone, you can take hands-free phone calls on your phone, or if you're in the car, whatever. With that selection there. But that's it. But basically what I'm saying is it does work. There's nothing actually wrong with it except for the battery's not holding its charge. So whereas before I was getting like 4 hours constant use out of it, I'm now just getting maybe an hour and a half. So obviously the batteries in there are perishing, are dying, they're not holding the charge. So obviously it's in need of replacement. So what I'm going to do today is try and replace it. Well, I'm going to open it up to see what sort of batteries they are, then I'll get it ordered. I've not actually got the batteries to actually do any repairs today, but we're going to open it up, see what it looks like, and then get the batteries ordered, and then I'll make another video when I'm ready to repair it. So let's get in. So I know for a fact that I need a Torx 8, which I've got ready here, screwdriver. There's 4 Torx screws in the bottom here. These are Torx 8. I can't see any other screwdrivers anywhere else, so I'm imagining that take these off, then it's going to be a case of probably held on by clips or slight glue, and then we'll have to ease it off. So I've got some pry tools ready just in the event, just in case. And let's switch from ratchet tightening to ratchet opening. There you are, not too bad. These are Torx 8, as I said. So yeah, let's just get these open. I should imagine they're all the same side. I've just left that out for a second because I want to make sure that all 4 are the same size. Sometimes these companies like to use proprietary screws, like to have too long, too short. I will make sure I know which way it is. So let's just make sure. But I've got a feeling they're all the same size. So yeah, there's 3 all the same size. So I don't think I've got any issues with that. So I don't know what I'm going to find in here. I'd imagine all the gubbins are in here. Some Torx screws on here as well. So there's something else. Don't know what this plate controls. But the bottom's pretty loose, so that comes out. And then all below I've got some Phillips screw here, which I need to undo. Now, what's this holding down? Is that holding that down underneath there as well? I seem to have 2 types of Phillips screw, flatheads and non-flathead, angular. Flatheads go in these. There's 4 flatheads there, so let me just get my let's see, that was Phillips. That's a Phillips. Let me see if I've got one small enough on this to fit that. No, I don't think I have. So I'm going to have to dig out my hole sands. Let's see if this will do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's just get a few things out of the way so I'm not I want to see if I can get these out, get this out first. Yeah, those two are the same size. I'm imagining these two should be the same size as well. So I know the flat ones go into the base here at the bottom, and then the curved one go on there. Now I'm not sure if all 8 are needed. Now this is supposed to, I'm expecting some sort of resistance, but this is supposed to be, it's a waterproof Trex Flex. You can attach it to the outside of your backpack if if you're walking or something. You've got a backpack so you can listen to music by your phone. Right, that don't seem to be. No, I think we have to undo these as well. I think this is attached under here by these as well, because from what I can see, yeah, the plastic's carrying on underneath. So these are the non-flatheads, so I know these go into the grey part of the bottom. So like I says, I've had this for quite a few years, and it served me well. I still use it because I sometimes use it with my PC, because it has got auxiliary out port, so I can connect up either earphones or connect up an auxiliary cable to my PC, and I can play my PC through it, or my laptop or whatever. Because there's certain scenarios, if I'm working late at night and my other half's in bed and I don't want to disturb her, then I can use it through these speakers, because I can turn it down low enough so I can hear it, but not, not enough to wake her up. Alright, so that's off. So now okay, so I'm just noting that to this back plate here, which is another Torx screw, that this narrow cutout goes there and up here, because I've got a feeling that this is going to have to come off. I've got a feeling that this is going to have to I don't know if I've got to take these off. We'll have a look. I've got a feeling I may do. Oh, still Torx 8. It'd be great if the batteries were just here, isn't it? This is all I had to do. I can just put the bottom back on and just get the batteries. It'd be great, that. But it does seem to split in half, because there's a seam along the back here, and there's two seams which goes on this panel here, as you can see, which seems to slide in and out. So I just want to compare these screws with these Torx 8, see if it's the same size. If they are, then I can put them. And it was, so I can put that. I can put these back. It is. That's brilliant. I can put these back. So take those two out of there, those two out of there. These bevel edges go on this on the outside. Those flat ones go on the inside. So the batteries are here. So that's a good. That's excellent for me. It's so easy to service this. I was expecting a massive strip down, but this is so easy. Like I said, I never took it off before. I thought that might have been some sort of control panel in there. That's why I didn't go for that first. You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But it's the first time I've stripped this down, so now that I know, it's I mean, I've never had any problems, so I've never had to touch it. You see, I don't interfere with the equipment. So if it's working and doing what I want it to do, I've got no problem. I leave it alone. I don't interfere with it. I don't mess with it, because that's how you break things. But like I said, the battery's now not holding its charges. It's not holding the charge, so obviously I know the batteries are perishing. All batteries do, irrelevant of what type of battery they are. You know, they all have a limited lifespan. Nothing lasts forever. And I've had it for many years, so I can't even remember how many years I've had this. But it's been everywhere with me. It's a great little speaker. It's waterproof. It's called a TrexFlex. TrexFlex. And the idea is that, you know, it's a mobile like Bluetooth speaker. You can use it for all sorts of tasks. So like I said, what you do, you attach that on the out. You know, you can hook that onto the outside of your backpack or something. So if you're walking along, if you're a hiker, you got an MP3 player, you can hook it up to it. So you can, if you've got an MP3 player with Bluetooth, you can hook it up. You can, you know, connect it up via Bluetooth, listen to your music, or if you've got a long enough auxiliary cable, you can connect it up via the auxiliary port, which obviously saves more on your battery, because as you know, Bluetooth and wireless consume more power. Or your phone, whatever, you know. Obviously nowadays everybody's got battery banks, so. Okay, so let's see, this has got right, I think this has to come off. And another thing I like about this, they seem to use, apart from the Torx screws on the outside, they seem to use so obviously that one will go there and that one will go there. They seem to use the same screws throughout. So I mean, it's Torx 8 where Torx are used. So you've not got like Torx 8 then a Torx 2 then a Torx. You know what I mean? Not all different Torx. They seem to use standardise it. Use where Torx are used, it's all Torx 8. And where screws are used, it all seem to be the same screws, same thread. Yeah, but in certain places, some are flathead, some are not. Some are bevel heads, bevel shaped heads. But it's the same type of screw with same type of thread. So as you can see here, so far I've only used two types of screwdriver Torx, and my Hosan number 0 for the crosshead. So yeah, so rather than leave it disassembled and causing it issues, I'll put back the parts that I don't need to have off, because like I said, with some speakers it would be a teardown. You see, this is a creative speaker of similar, but this is more one what you use indoor. I mean, you can take it outdoor, but it's more an indoor one. And I've had that for quite a while, so I'm assuming that very soon the batteries will want to go on that. Now that could be a totally different teardown compared to this, but this is so easy, I can't believe it. Kind of like grinning on the inside here. Yeah, I think you just have to take this off because the surround. We'll just get a pry tool, a sponger, as we call them. So it seems like the hardest part is getting the batteries out. Okay, let me try from this side. It's kind of nearly there, but I don't know. Obviously there's going to be cables attached, and I'm thinking it's down on the other side. I thought my life would be made easier if I took this out. Let me just try a metal. No, I think I'll do more damage. Let me see if I've got a stronger. Some metal spudgers there. I don't actually want to use a metal spudger. Let me try one of these. Got a bit more resistance in them. Not as flexible as that, so it might offer me a bit more torque. Yeah. Well, I seem to have flipped it up, but now I need to get it out. You see, depending on how much wire there is in there, because as I say, I don't know, and I'm really hoping this thing don't need a massive teardown. I don't have to take out all them screws I've just put back in. Ah. No, where's this side? Why is it that side? Okay. Right, okay. And look at that. It's just a... it's just one of those. Stick that in there, push connector. So I've just got to slide that out off the pins, and then the whole battery assembly comes out. So I'll try to do that without damaging the wire. This is why plastic spudgers are great. Not everything requires a metal spudger. Because at least with the plastic, if say like right now my hands are a bit slippery because they're sweating slightly because it's quite warm. If I've got a metal spudger and I'm doing this on a slip, I've got a higher chance of actually damaging the component with a metal spudger than I do with a plastic spudger. Now, there's not saying you can't still cause damage with a plastic spudger, but you reduce the chance, you minimise it. You know, you lower your chances, you lower the risk of damage. Oh yes, there we go. There we are. Right, so I just need to see if I can get through, and it's 3 of these. Now, I wonder if I can get that as a pack. We'll see. And it plugs into there. So that is not bad at all. That is not bad at all. So there's not a lot more I can do with that. I'm going to put these I'll put these screws back in while I order the battery. To wait till I get the battery, and then once I get the battery, we'll continue the reassembly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go online. I'm going to track down this number. Track down this part. If I put in this part number, I'm wondering if if it'll come pre. Sometimes you can get these pre-assembled as is, as you see this one here. Sometimes you may just get the battery and then you have to do your own assembly. You know, it is what it is, and we'll do what we have to do. I reassemble the rest of the other part of the speaker. I did actually find these online. I put in the part number into Google, and I actually found a pack. I found on several sites, and the cheapest one I could get pre-assembled, actually with the same specifications, I got it for 12 quid. So I went ahead and ordered it. So I'm going to cut now to where I've received the package, I've received the batteries, and now we're going to assemble. Yes, well, welcome back. If you remember, I left off with this Trek speaker. Was trying to change out the battery. Got the old battery out. Yeah. Looked up the specs. Went online, ordered it. It took a couple of days. Well, now the new battery's here, and now we're actually going to get it installed. We're going to get it installed. Here we go. Get you a better view there. We're going to get it installed and make sure it works. So let's get this thing open. Da 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 da. And I'm just seeing whether. Okay. 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 So what we've got to do now is reconnect. Let me just check these connectors. Yep. There we go. Checking the connectors. Same order. Red, white, black. Same type of connector. So there we go. So it's this new blue one that's come in now. So what we've got to do is just reconnect it back into that connector there. put the cover back on and away we go. So let's see. So the groove is that way. Just got to look which way the pin's down. Right, so the pin's that way. The pin's that way, and I'm just making sure so I've just got to do a bit of manoeuvring, so just bear with me. And out of the way. Let's get the dual cam view on. Bring this down a bit so you can try and see what I'm doing. Just club a mini on the desk. Just bring that a bit closer. Just move you down a bit. Okay. So all I've got to do now is, unfortunately, I've not got much room to move, so I've just got to try and maneuver this connector back into position, slide it in, and hopefully we're good to go. But the hardest part is getting this connector back in, because we're trying not to put. So I've just got to try and manipulate these wires a little bit. Manipulate these wires just to get them in. So unfortunately, guys, unbeknown to me, my audio had dropped out. It stopped working. I must have hit the stop button or the off button on my receiver because I wear it on my hip, and I didn't realise until after the clip was done. But anyway, basically all that happened here was that it took me a while. I struggled a bit with it because I didn't have much room to work with the connector, and because you don't want to bend the pins, or I didn't want to slip with the tweezers and go through the wires. I took my time, which I suggest that you do as well. But eventually I did get it in with a bit of manoeuvring, slipped it in, got it connected, and I tested it. Now, again, throughout this procedure, the audio was actually off, so I didn't realise this until afterwards. But I did test it with Bluetooth, and it worked. And I also tested it by connecting an audio cable, and it worked, which you'll see. But in one respect, I'm glad that the audio had dropped out, because some of the music I used was actually copyrighted music, and I didn't want to get a YouTube strike. Because if you play copyrighted music on your channel, you can get a copyright strike. Though you can get a couple of seconds for demonstration purposes, they'll understand. But as I said, it didn't happen. But believe it or not, it did work. Anyway, as we knew from the start, the speaker did work. There was nothing wrong with the speaker. It was just that the battery wasn't holding its charge. So here now you can see I'm showing you that it's on. The Bluetooth light is blinking. So it's obviously it will connect to any Bluetooth devices that I've already got it paired to. I did set up my phone, paired it with my phone. It worked. I also connected an audio cable to it, to my phone, and again it worked. So I know you didn't hear it. I'm sorry about that, but in one respect, it probably saved me a copyright strike anyway. But as we said, the speaker's working. So there you go. So that's no problem. Now, I have edited out a bit of where I'm trying to get the connector in, because it did take me about 20 to 25 minutes messing about, and I know some of you are going to say that's a long time, but it's not that. You've got to remember, this connector is very small, the pins are very fine, and it's keyed, but you can't see it and you can't feel it the way it's positioned. So you've got to do it off touch. You've got to actually feel the actual connector engage and prepare to slide in. So I fiddled around with it, and eventually I got there. Now in this section here you can see I've got the batteries in, but the batteries have got to go in at an angle. You can't have the two batteries that are on the bottom, you can't have them flat across the top as I've got them here right now, because the lid has actually got a battery cutout for two batteries. The battery's got a bit on a slight angle downwards. So basically, you need a single battery on the top, or one of the batteries on the top. But you've got to remember where your wire is, your connector wire is. So here now, all I'm doing is just trying to get it out to just reposition it. So I've got it in, and it's kind of wedged in there. But don't ever use a metal spudger. Did you see there on the cover how it's got that that little handled battery secure grooves? The battery's sitting in those grooves, but the battery's got to be in an angle, which I've just said before. So all I'm doing here now is just trying to reposition the battery. I don't really need to get it out. I just need it to get it to turn on each side. Yeah, so it's like a tripod. So like I got one battery up at the top and then the other two at the bottom, so I can get that lid on. So that's all I'm doing there. So there's nothing really much here to see. Like I said, throughout this, all the audio that had dropped out, but I did not notice this until after I've done it, and I'm not going to pretend and go through it all again, to make it look like a polished video, like I got everything right, because I didn't. When you're trying to explain something, do something, and also record, it's a bit difficult. When you make mistakes, just show the mistakes, because I'm only human. I'm not a professional photography content creator. I'm just doing stuff for me and showing you how you can do it for yourself as well. So this speaker's quite easy to work on. I mean, it's the first time I've done it, but now you see, now I've got it repositioned. I've had to turn the lid the other way around now, so that it's running down the side of these two batteries. You see now there's only like one battery up top, and that's how you need to do it. So as I say, this speaker is really easy to work on. I'm so glad. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. If I'd have took that plate off in the first place, I would have had to take the bottom off, all the rest of it on. But I sort of like geared myself up for a strip down, because a lot of these modern appliances, well, this is not so modern as in like 2023 appliances, they're all sort of like proprietary, and they're designed in such a way that they're not user friendly. They're not very serviceable, because manufacturers just want you to throw it away and buy a new one. But obviously this was made before they sort of like changed their product profile on their appliances. So this one was really super easy to do. So all you do is undo that plate, flip the three batteries out. You will need a plastic pry tool. Don't use a metal one, because you don't want to do any damage to the battery. You don't want to end up shorting the battery by having the metal pry tool pierce through the protective shrink wrap and maybe make connections with a positive and negative terminal. Yeah, so use a plastic pry tool. Take your time when you do anything for the first time. Take your time, never rush it. Take your time, see how it goes. The easiest thing was getting the battery connector out. The hardest thing is getting it back in. On this model, when it comes out, there's like a long strip on the top. What you've got to do is look at the pins and make sure that they're uppermost, the three pins where they go, or where the 3-pin engages. Make sure they're towards the top, and that the long thin strip is also at the top, because that's how it's keyed. And then when you push it in, you have to sort of like get it in an angle where you've got to put the connector down, but it doesn't go flat. It will go flat down, but it'll go past the pins. It has to come up slightly, but you don't have much room to work in. So if you've got a pair of tweezers, maybe with an angled tip like I used, it's probably a bit more helpful. In the end, I ended up using my finger to like put the connector in, then push the wires down at the back so it forces the front of the connector up, and then it actually engages. I actually felt it engage, and then I could push it in. So I know it's incorrectly. So I'm just doing it all up now. You can see that the plate is slightly still bulging, because the battery is not a total percent in the correct position. But what I will do, I'll go back and do that myself later. I'm not going to record that, because this video was long enough. So that was it. What I'm going to do here now is test it to show you that it works. There you go. So that's my Bluetooth. Oh, come on. My app's just gone off on me. Right, there you go. I have to stop that. I don't want to get a copyright strike. So I just wanted to show you that it was going. So I've just done it by Bluetooth and I've done it by audio cable. When I did it by audio cable, I don't think my sound was on. Let me just recheck my stream, see if the sound was on. Let's turn Bluetooth off. There we go, Bluetooth off. So with that said, guys, yes, I did check my stream and I did lose audio part of the way, but I've done a bit of a voiceover on it. It does work. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to put it on charge now, let it fully charge, because I don't know how charged the battery was. And I'm going to call it quits there. So thanks a lot for that. I'm sorry it took a bit of time to do. I said I had to wait for the batteries. I can tell you next that I've got coming is my gaming system up to 13th gen, and you can see that's coming soon. So thank you for dropping in, and I'll see you all in the next one.